This is MindPower. Hi there, I'm Bryce L. Tomlinson from NewDepthMedia.com, and today I'm going to review Apple's 2011 iMac 27-inch computer. The reason why I'm doing this review, despite the fact that there are probably about, I don't know, 200,000 of these reviews of this particular computer on YouTube. This is from the standpoint of a guy who has traditionally been a PC guy. So this review is probably more targeted for people who are contemplating making the switch from a PC to a Mac. I'm primarily targeting that audience because I feel like there's a lot of people going through a transition period right now. You've had the whole Final Cut Pro X fiasco, and people are contemplating jumping to the Mac. I made the jump to a Mac from a PC during this time, and I just kind of want to tell you about my opinion of the experience transitioning to the Mac. The iMac that I have has an i7 processor in it. It's a quad-core, 3.4 gigahertz processor. It has 12 gigabytes of RAM. It also has a 2 gig video card. It performs amazingly, like nothing else I've ever seen. Just messing around with iMovie when I first got it, because I didn't have anything when I first got it, it just screams through video as you're, scrolling back and forth and just it's mind-blowing how it handles video. I've never seen anything do that on the PC at all. As far as audio goes, handling audio, it seems to handle audio pretty okay on my system. I don't have any real, music software on it other than the GarageBand software that I have that came with it. I do have Reason. I haven't installed that on there yet. I don't appreciate iTunes pretty much taking over everything. Of course, being from the PC, we have a multitude of different options for playing back audio, and I'm sure on the Mac you do too. But having iTunes be the dominant thing, the Mac doing an upgrade that basically kind of requires that I install iCloud, even though I don't share my documents with the world on my computer. That part of it's too new for me to really comment on. I talked about this issue before, but I'm kind of annoyed with the transition between the command key and the control key, and I'm positive that other people making the change, especially if you're a new person, even if if you're a novice to the PC, you're gonna have trouble switching over to the command key in that case. I'm not what you would call a PC fanboy, and I'm not what you would call a Mac fanboy. I like this computer because it performs well for the task that I need. I have played a couple games on it. It seems to perform flawlessly with games. I can't believe what a great gaming machine this is. I like that the Magic Mouse, you can use the multi-touch, so you have the left click, right click, and you can shift back and forth between screens using multi-touch with 2 fingers, and scrolling left and right and up and down on web pages is really handy. However, I wish there was a way to maybe adjust some of these functions on this thing, on the new Magic Mouse, because some of them really get in the way of certain applications. It would be great if you could have different settings. I haven't found, maybe there is some kind of application that does that, but I haven't found said application to help me to customize this more than just saying whether I want to use the right click, left click, and the speed. I really wish that it had more versatility between applications, so that and I understand some of you may say, hey, you shouldn't buy this for gaming. Okay, it comes with the Mac now. Okay, so what's my option? So of course I could always fall back on a PC mouse and just buy a Logitech PC mouse and do that, but then I would lose some of the functions of the Magic Mouse that I love so much. So I'm really kind of torn between that part. The display is really great. I find that sometimes it seems a little dark or dull, the display, and it is so high definition that if you have even the slightest compression in your video, it's gonna really bring that compression out. It's one of the things that I talk about with friends when they're shopping for a high-def television, is that make sure that you watch a number of different types of broadcasts on it before you make a decision of what kind of display you have. Now, with the iMac 27-inch, you get this display. You don't get to choose which display you get. But it is pretty nice, and I have found that, that for the most part, most of the videos that I've produced with this, they look pretty good on other systems. But, I don't know, maybe I just need to calibrate that more. But, this is coming from a guy who is, from a PC background, so I'm sort of new to this. I find that the Apple operating system it's fairly easy to learn. I haven't really read a whole lot of manuals. I watched some videos on how to use some of the software, but for the most part, I haven't really had to open the book too much to learn my way around the operating system. I do a lot of exploring and experimenting, and I always encourage people to do that. Of course, don't do your experimenting on your really important projects. Also, there's the webcam. This is the webcam that comes with it. The webcam is right there on the very front of it, and on top of it is the microphone. And after listening to the audio of some of the recordings from it, I don't find that it's the best. I find that for Skype, it's great. I'm sure you're listening to it right now. I'm using the audio from it so that you can hear that different audio. If you watch some of my other videos, you'll hear the difference between this mic and the regular mic that I use for most of my videos. I think that this webcam, the frame rate of it is pretty good. You'll notice that when I move around, it does have some blur and some shake to it. However, it's not as bad as some of the webcams that I have. I have a Logitech QuickCam 9000, and I have to say, this thing outranks it by far. I think the audio on the Logitech is probably a little higher quality audio overall, but I find that it tends to crackle, it tends to peak and clip. So I really don't like using the Logitech for the most part for that reason. I also found that when I tried to plug in my regular microphone into the Mac, it doesn't seem to accept my regular microphone that I use. It just has a regular monaural plug, and I plug that into the back of the Mac, and I would hope that, since it has a microphone thing on the back of it, that would work. But it doesn't. So that makes it kind of difficult. I would like to be able to just set this thing right in front of me, just like this, and shoot a video and have awesome audio, but I can't do that with this. Probably have to have either like a headset or a stereo mic for it to work. I'm not sure why that is, but it doesn't seem to accept my regular microphone. I'm going to probably have to find some adapter or a workaround for that to get that microphone to work with this. And I'll probably end up doing it. The computer has, I think, 3 or 4 USB ports in the back of it. Seems to be enough for me for the most part. If you want to get a hub, I would really kind of recommend that you get a hub. Try to avoid certain kinds of powered hubs because you don't want to damage your Mac. Oh, another thing that you're going to love about the Mac is that it's quiet. It's really, really quiet. The fans in it are super quiet. The speakers are on the bottom of it, and unlike most built-in speakers, they don't sound like crap. These sound really good. I would say the only thing I would add to this Mac for the audio is maybe add a little port for a subwoofer. That would be great, because it sounds awesome even without the sub. But, if you had a sub, these are like great satellite speakers for a computer. It sounds awesome. Really love the sound. And I'm sure that Sir Steve Jobs had something to do with the aesthetic value of that, because they're not pointing toward the front. When you look at the front, all you see is just, this brushed steel finish here. And when you're looking at the webcam, you just see a little green dot and a little bubble where the webcam is, and the microphone is located on top. Now, I think that webcam located on top probably eliminates a lot of the feedback, since it's polar opposite to where the speakers are. The speakers are located on the bottom, the microphone's on the top. Probably makes Skype work a lot better, but it also adds, as you notice, some of the acoustics of the room are really kind of getting in the sound. So you kind of get that echoey sound, sort of like you're in a cabinet or something like that. It's not quite perfect sound. I would rather be able to use my microphone, as I said. As for the software that comes stock with the Mac, I think that most people, you're going to find that if you're just buying a computer for home use, probably almost everything that you need is going to be already on the computer. As for, getting software, it couldn't be easier. Almost all the software for the Mac is online. You have the App Store, so pretty much most of the Apple applications that you're going to get for it are going to be in the App Store, even a lot of the third-party ones. And those that aren't, you just go right to their website and download the installation package, and there you go. Installing DVDs, installing DVD-ROMs, installing CD-ROMs couldn't be easier. You have a CD-ROM built right into the side of it. It's got a DVD recorder, so it's just great. I can burn DVDs. The one thing that I found out is that these things don't come with a Blu-ray. You can't get them with a Blu-ray. I honestly, I would kind of like to watch some Blu-rays on this thing. So, I understand that there may be some third-party ones that I could get for this. But as I understand it, Apple doesn't believe the Blu-ray is going to be around that long and that everybody's going to streaming media, which I can buy into that. Cosmetically, I believe that the Mac is probably at the forefront of the computer industry. I can't believe how elegant and simple it looks. It looks great. It's actually easy to carry. For a 27-inch screen and the whole computer is built into it, the thing is lighter than my tower, and it's really easy to pick up and move around. I can just, if I need to move it off my desk, I can just lay it on my bed, and it's safe and sound. I don't have to worry about it. It's really rugged. It's obviously built pretty solid, sturdy. Of course, I wouldn't want to drop it, but you buy something like this, you pay some extra money for it, you take care of it. I think it's built well, it looks great, it sounds awesome, it performs well. All around, I'm really happy with it. I think if I was to rate it on a 1 to 10 scale, I would say that the iMac 27-inch, this particular iMac, for the money, I'd say an 8. I would say a 10, but there, as I said, there's a couple of little gripes that I would like to have something better. But other than that, it's great. It's a great computer. It's really been dependable for me for an editing machine. Once I learn it, I'm going to be a lot more productive with it, and that's just the same thing with everything. I kind of like the way the drives are, set up, where it's easy to explore your computer and find your documents. I find that the search option, especially on Finder, the little search thing, finding a document is so simple on a Mac. If you've lost your document and you can't seem to find it, it seems to be a lot easier on the Mac than it is on a PC. You need to have either a lot of time or a really good application for searching on a PC. So the Mac seems to do a great job of finding my documents. I liked GarageBand, playing with GarageBand. I was able to lay down a few tracks in no time. It also, gives you some options for creating original music as well as using some of the loops. I like the fact that the GarageBand's, the media that comes with GarageBand, if you produce a song using samples and stuff from GarageBand, that you can go out there and use it for whatever you want to, and you don't have to worry about the rights on it. I like the fact that Firefox is just the same pretty much on the Mac as it is on the PC. I'm not too much into Safari. I opened it up a couple times, and I opened it up to download Firefox, and that was pretty much the last time I used Safari. But I do like Firefox, and I like the fact that most of the same stuff that I use on the PC is still available on the Mac. I like the hibernate functions on this computer. The energy savings on it is pretty great, I think, because you can just press the monitor button, the monitor turns off, and of course you can always shut your computer off, and I think you can change how it behaves in response to the button. But it's really easy to shut your computer down. It's easy to put it into hibernate and save some energy, save your screen. Comes with a number of kind of cool screensavers. I wish it came with more screensavers, and to be honest, I don't see any real good excuse for that. As I understand it, the new Mac OS is pretty much a variant of Linux or Unix. Like if you have Ubuntu, you got awesome screensavers right out of the box, and I find that the Mac kind of has some lame screensavers that it comes with. I haven't really gone out of my way to go looking for a whole bunch of new ones. I found it really easy to migrate my Thunderbird email data from my PC to my Mac. I simply zipped up the profile folder and did a couple of tricks to make Thunderbird on the Mac be looking in that folder, and it was easy, and all my settings were completely taken over to the Mac, and that was great. OpenOffice works great on the Mac, so the same word processor and spreadsheet and database that I use on the PC is still on the Mac, and it's in all of its glory. It doesn't seem to be changed really in any way. It's stable. This computer is really, really stable. I've only had really a couple of minor things happen, and they were probably because I was using the computer wrong. Things having to do with, mostly with Adobe After Effects and Premiere, and just that I kind of wasn't using the program right, and I exited one program before I was supposed to, and I kind of didn't know what I was doing, and I had to reset the computer. I really haven't had the computer crash. I've had some programs crash, and they seem to do a great job of recovering. For the most part, I really haven't had the computer crash. It hasn't stopped for any reason or told me, you know, anything was wrong. So I really haven't run into any kind of instabilities, and I've been using this computer, as some of you know, like almost non-stop since I got it. I think that was about 3-4 weeks ago, something like that. Anyway, it's a great product. I will say it's expensive. I could have built a PC with almost the same setup for easily half the price, I think. And it was really expensive. However, you know, if you're investing in your future, and you know you want to be taken seriously as a video guy, I still think that Mac is really the way to go. I really do. You know, I messed with Adobe on the PC, and I found it to be unstable. On the Mac, it still has some, you know, it's not totally perfect. It has some glitches. Like I said, I run into some faux pas, and I've run into some bugs, but they're not bugs that you can't find a way around, and that hasn't stopped me from working. I found that my, you know, workflow is really fast. As long as I have all the ideas already in place, you know, I can really get to work. The Mac allows me to really just, as soon as you have your idea, you can put your hands to it and pow, start, you know, bringing it out. And I find that just about all the applications on the Mac are designed for you to really, you know, it's human integration with the machine. Some of you say, well, this isn't quite the way, you know, I remember, you know, graphic user interfaces behaving and stuff. But then again, you may have been working with graphic user interfaces that weren't quite as human oriented as this. I mean, some of you who have seen the new iPhone 4S know that Siri is, you know, taking the next step to really integrate people with inanimate objects. The wireless thing in this is stunning. It picks up wireless hotspots from God knows where in my neighborhood. I have an amplified antenna on my PC so that I can get, you know, good signal with my wireless, but it doesn't pick up all of the, you know, this thing picks up everything from all over the neighborhood. The wireless in this thing is great. The Bluetooth, you know, I find that the connection to the keyboard and the mouse is just fine. It comes with the stock keyboard. That this is not the wireless one that I'm trying to bring up here. This is the one that has the 10 key. And the one that they give you that comes with it is, you know, it's wireless and it's cut off about here, and it doesn't have the 10 key. And I need a 10 key. They offered to give me the wired keyboard with the 10 key with no extra charge if I didn't want to have the wireless one. So you have that kind of choice. Know that ahead of time, and know that they install the RAM in the shop. You know, if you're thinking that you're going to go there, pick up your Mac, and it's just going to be done, it's likely that they're going to have to sit down and install the RAM, in which they had to do with mine. The customer service reps there seem to be fairly knowledgeable. I think the guy that I got was sort of new, but they really knew their way around the shop. They knew their way around the items. One thing that you need to know about the new iMac is that they say it doesn't have a display port, okay? The display port is now the Thunderbolt port. So the new Mac comes with a couple of Thunderbolt ports, which they say is going to be basically like the new USB bus. Essentially, it's supposed to be something like 30 times faster. I'm sure you can find yourself some charts online to see how much more the performance is, and it's stunning how much more performance comes out of the Thunderbolt port. But they're also going to use that for HDMI, they're going to use it for high def video, they're going to use it for file transfers, for accessories, webcams. They're expecting to use it for just about everything. And it's also backward compatible with DisplayPort. So when you go to get your little HDMI adapter, which you will need because this computer does not have an HDMI out. If you're planning to hook it up to your HDMI screen, which I have mine over here, if you're planning to hook it up to that, then you're definitely going to want to get the HDMI adapter with it. It doesn't cost that much. I think it's like 30 bucks. You definitely want to get that with it. Just go ahead and bite the bullet if you plan to use your computer with a high def screen. Now, that being said, I also found that when I'm putting my video out to the HDMI, it seems to have a little lag in the audio. Now, I'm not sure if that's just from my own receiver or from my television. I haven't messed with the settings, but right out of the box, it's not synced up. So the audio that goes over the HDMI seems to be a little behind the video. Not sure what causes that. I understand that my receiver has some little settings that I can tweak to adjust that to make it more tolerable, but in the meantime, I kind of don't do my sound editing on that. I do it, with my headphones so that, I get my sound sounding good. So if you're doing editing, if you're buying it for video editing, know that the HDMI output, the audio might be a little lagged and you may have to make some allowances for that. Not sure why that is, just seemed to be that way. And I'm not trying to say, technically what causes it or anything. I'm just saying this is my opinion. I'm a new guy. I love the Mac. I really do. I'm a new guy. And I gotta learn some stuff. So if you have some suggestions regarding some of the things that I complained about or that I do like or don't like, if you have any comments about that, please make sure you leave them in the comment section below. If you'd like to see me unboxing this computer, then click on this video right here and you can watch that right away and see what comes in the box when you first get it. Hey, I hope you really liked this video, and if you did, please make sure that you click the thumbs up button. If you would like to see more videos like this, unboxings, tutorials, reviews, tech stuff, please make sure that you click the subscribe button. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.